Skye Squad, we are back in the building. We got another live coming at you, as Escape says. Okay, um, we talking Love and Marriage DC, y'all. Love and Marriage DC. Did you happen to catch episode 3 of season 2 last night? Holla if you hear me down in that good chatterization and let us know. Also, let us know where you are watching from, just like Jacqueline from Maryland. Hey, out there. I see you. Cali is in the building. New Orleans in the building. Florida's in the chat. Hey, just a T, please. How you doing? Hey, we got Houston, Texas in the building. London, baby. London town. Mobile, Alabama. Mobile. Los Angeles, Greenville, South Carolina. The DM to the V. New Haven, ATL, Pace, Florida, Dallas, London, Ohio, okay, Raleigh, Newfoundland, Canada, yes, baby, Washington State, South Africa, Jersey City. I see y'all, Chicago. Everybody's in the building in this jamboree this morning. Well, should I say this afternoon? Okay. So we're going to be discussing Love and Marriage DC. We're talking episode 3 of season 2. Okay. Episode 3 of season 2. All right. Now, let's really get into the biz not eat of this episode. If you happen to catch this episode, let us know what you would rate it. Hey, thank you so much. Let us know what you would rate it in the chatterization down below. I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it an 8.9. I thought about an 8.5, but the 8.9, maybe the 8.5 is good. Because here's the thing. It wasn't an explosive episode, right? But to me, it was a good episode. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, it was actually really, really good. I mean, it reminded me, and I wrote this down in my notes, or I said it on someone's Instagram post last night. It reminded me of old school reality TV shows. It really, really did. And I quite thoroughly enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? It there, let me tell you why for me it reminded me of old school, especially like old school housewives. You had your one-on-one sit down, you know what I'm saying? You had a little your confrontation that they started off the episode with. You also had some really interesting discussions about mental health last night. You know, from Ashley opening up about not only her mom, which if you guys saw my interview with Ashley from last week, you will know that she had talked about this sit down ponderosa with her mother. And then she alluded to how some of what their discussions were would impact or would come into play regarding Lil Jamie as well. And so we had a heated debate about that. And then we got the surprise of the episode with Ashley going off on Quick. Totally out of the blue. You know what I'm saying? Totally unexpected. I just was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And what I did, yeah, I mean, Carly P says because Carlos King isn't going to switch up his production style. These new shows are focused only on reads and arguments. And I think that's one of the things. Like, this wasn't focused on reads. This wasn't really focused on arguments. Though there was an argument, it really, to me, didn't take over the episode. And again, it was so benign that, it reminded me of old school housewives. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into the tea of it, you know. And again, I liked it because, and don't let that 8.5 make you feel like it wasn't good, because it was good. But 8.5 seems to be the sweet spot for where I feel like it should go, because I feel like next week is going to be even better. But let's get into the tea. We start off the episode with Erana versus Winter from last week. And, you know, this is an interesting situation for me. The problem that I have is that even though Erana is clearly upset, she just still seems so nice that I can't really like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's like, oh, look at Arena getting mad. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's kind of cute. Look at her getting mad. Look at her. She about to walk off. Oh, go ahead, girl. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't take her seriously in terms of her anger. I think it's just her overall presence doesn't lend itself to being mean or nasty or anything like that. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. I think it's just me. Because every time I look at her, I just think of like classy elegance. You know what I'm saying? She just don't have that type of energy to me. Like if it had been Ashley, I definitely could have seen it, because Ashley has a different type of energy. Not to say one is better than the other. It's just how I feel about them. You know what I'm saying? In terms of Winter and the receipts, I mean, y'all know how I feel about this. All right. I personally am under the I'm under the I look at DMs, and like when a new show comes out, it is inevitable that people will try to dig up stuff about other people. People are going to send things to the castmates. People are going to talk, right? To be honest with you, y'all, stuff like that, when people's like, I get people all the time that'll send me stuff about somebody or want to do an interview about something or someone or an experience that they had with that person that's on the show. And for me, I tend to stay away from those types of things in general, mostly because, I mean, if I don't have a choice but to talk about it because it's making national news, like the whole Robin and Juan situation, that was already bubbling, right? On, like, it was in printed publications. But in terms of just having people send stuff in the DMs, I just kind of feel like you kind of have to know that because you're on television, that's going to be par for the course. It's really up to you whether or not you choose to bring that stuff out or not, or you choose to give that any energy. And I just think you have to really pick and choose your battles with those types of things. So I kind of agree with Arena on these receipts. I mean, at the end of the day, Jason is off, doing his thing. And that's the route that he seemed to want to go based on his story. He wanted to be independent. He wanted to get out of his parents' house. He didn't want to be dependent on them. So seeing the storyline play out from both sides, like hearing the receipts and then seeing what he was going through and what he wanted, it's to me like, okay, the man wanted to leave. So at the end of the day, I mean, it worked out for everybody, right? Or wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like you got to kind of like, when you're on these reality TV shows, you have to look and see, okay, somebody's sending me something on somebody. Am I really going to use it? Or will I leave it in my back pocket in case they try to come for me? And I guess the thing that we have learned with Potomac over these past couple of weeks is that your show should not be based on people coming for you. Your show should be based on everybody on the cast living out their truth and living their real lives. And the natural conflict that comes as a result of different people with different mindsets and pasts coming together, that always creates conflict. You don't need to orchestrate something, and you don't need to go digging around in somebody's past in order to have a great show, in order to have a great, comeback in your argument. You know what I'm saying? You, I think, have to be wise enough to know I can go back and forth with you on my own without bringing up anything about your past. I can judge you on what you're doing now. Okay. So that's just me. Anyway, Tiara says, "Hi, Richie. I don't think Winter should have called them receipts because it automatically sounds like someone has dirt. She should have just told her that somebody is saying bad things about her family." I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. You know what I'm saying? And leave it at that, because ultimately, again, people can come into the DMs and say anything. You know what I'm saying? So at this point in time, it's kind of like, okay, next. Um, that's just me. And thank you for that super chat. But in truth, I like Winter. I like Winter on this show. I just don't like that aspect of reality TV and TV shows in general. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I don't care what these people do in their private time. I care about what you do on the show, all right, and how it affects what's happening now. You know, um, I was thinking about a Nene quote. Okay, but anyway, the conversation devolves into chaos. Erana don't want nothing to do with Winter, and she storms off. The end. But I still like a good Ponderosa like that. Don't get me wrong. Because again, it gave me old school reality TV vibes. Meanwhile, Ashley, side note, did y'all see them people in the background looking at the the people in the background in the back of the scene was looking like, I think it's about to go down. Anyway, we see Ashley heading to her mom's house. What was fascinating to me about Ashley going to her mom's house is that Ashley had not been there in 20 years. In 20, that's a long time. That is a long time. So if Ashley is what, 37 or something like that, that means you've been there since you were 17. Wow. That's a long time. Meanwhile, they talk about the book and whatnot. The conflict between Ashley and her mom is basically this. Laying it out there for you the way it was laid out for me on the TV. Ashley's mom sounds like she got a man when Ashley was 16. Ashley's mom left the house, according to Ashley, said deuces, but still kept paying on things for the house. So it was like she was taking care of the house, but not really taking care of Ashley, if that makes any sense. And at 16, you know, a lot of kids don't like their parents around that age. But even though they don't like their parents, they still need their parents. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the mom was like, you know, Miss Mama was like, well, you was a grown woman at 16. And Ashley was like, no, I was not. I do think that there is probably a perception gap, right? Maybe her mom was thinking like, well, I mean, at 16, I was grown and taking care of things. You should be able to take care of things too. Because, you know, back in the day, I mean, things was different. All right. Even as we was, a lot of us was growing up. Chime down in the chatterization if you was like a latchkey kid. What a latchkey kid is, for people that don't know, is when you get home from school, you are more than likely to have been home alone by yourself until your parents got off work. That is what they call a latchkey kid. So for a lot of us, we grew up in that era where we were, and even today, I'm sure, where there were latchkey kids. Like you come home and okay, I got to take care. You know, I unlock the door, I get in the house, I take care of what I need to take care of until the parents come home, right? Now Natasha makes a good point that she could have not wanted the man around, you know, Ashley. That could have been something too. But what we know is that the man won't no good. I mean, no shade to the man, because according to Ashley, the man ended up leaving the mama when the mama wanted to be, wanted to be immersed in her grandkid's life. So the man won't really worth it in the end, to be honest with you. No shade, but that's the truth. According to, I'm just going on based on what we say on the show. So anyway, Ashley is really, I think what Ashley wants for her mom is to say, listen, I left you alone in the home by yourself. And Alicia came over and moved in or something like that. Different people moved in. I don't know. I left you alone. And right now, I would like to apologize for leaving you alone and the pain and the hurt and the trauma that it caused you. In addition, I would like to apologize for calling you a bad child. That to me is what it sounds like Ashley is looking for. However, Miss Mama is not willing to do. I mean, she's apologetic, but it's kind of feels like, well, I'm apologizing if you feel a certain type of way. Those were not her words verbatim, but it felt like that. And Mama ends the conversation early. And what I think something that Alicia is going to tell her later is that, Ashley, you have to be okay with never hearing the apology that you are hoping for. You have to be okay with never hearing, I'm sorry, or you have to forgive in spite of, whatever type of apology you end up getting from the person that harmed you. I mean, that's the truth of the matter, because Mama is insistent on the fact that she loves Ashley now, and she ain't nobody gonna be there like her mom, like she's gonna be there for her now. So the only thing that Ashley can do in this moment is take her mom where she is and meet her where she is today. Okay. And for everything that happened in the past, unfortunately, the reality is that Ashley is going to have to work through those issues on her own. Unfortunately. Pretty much, um but it is very interesting to see how perhaps maybe those same issues impact Ashley in her relations with other people today. All right, so listen, we moving on along to the joy and Clifton of it all. We don't really see much of them this episode, but what we do get is interesting. So they're at the Blue Nile checking out scents for his beard oils and stuff that he coming out with. And apparently the beard oils be so good that it make you want to slap it on your skin. You know what I'm saying? Slap it on your nether regions and things. So according to Joy, Anyway, she wants to talk about the wedding and why she's moving so slow on getting this ball rolling. Essentially, she ain't never wanted to be no Cinderella. She ain't never, I ain't got your Casanova. She don't want to be nobody's ball gown wearing, walking down the aisle wearing bride or bridezilla or none of that. Okay. She don't want that. And all she want to do is to be married to this man. Okay. Now, I would understand what she was saying. A part of me understands because I get it. Not everybody wants a wedding. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody needs to walk down the aisle and, pay for everything for everybody else because the wedding, whether you like it or not, is never about you. Okay? You can try as you like. And if you know, you know. But you can try as you like. But your wedding is really, whether you believe it or not, about other people. So there is no escaping it. Trust and believe. There is no escaping it. As much as you may say, the wedding is just going to be me and Bae. No, it's not. It is about you and it is about everybody else. Okay? Trust and believe. Trust and believe. And so I agree with her on that part. But where she lost me is this. She says to him, well, we fell in love and we met and fell in love on reality TV. Check. We got engaged on national TV. Check. But what else is there left for us if we've given everything all away? I got to stop you right now. I got to stop you right now. One, okay? The first question that I have for you is, if your thought process is what is left for you, why are you on a reality TV show? Okay? That is, listen, I was with you until you said that. But once you said that, I was like, well, girl, why are you still on reality TV? You did not have to bring this to the television. Y'all could have gone off into the sunset after the show and kept it pushing. And then y'all would have had everything to yourselves. Okay? True tea. Now, I don't know whose idea it was to get engaged on the Fox 5, because I did see that posted someplace. But, that was still a choice as well. It may not have been her choice, but, she was there. So, my thought is, I understand where she's coming from on one side, but on the other side, I'm like, no, that's not really jiving too well with me right now because it don't make sense. I don't understand it, right? Um, but for him, he's looking at it like, well, we can celebrate our black love and be an example to the black kingdom, to the Wakanda, um, for by doing this on a broader stage. Yes, indeed. Um, so it's a bit of a conundrum for them. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of a conundrum, and it does beg the question: like, did Joy really want to do the show, or was she kind of just doing it as because maybe it's something that he wanted to do? I don't know. I would have to talk to her to find that out. Maybe we'll set up an interview or something. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But that was just curious for me. All right, Alicia pulls up at the Ashley's house to have a little quick drinking session in Ponderosa. And we learned that Ashley is being thrown a surprise birthday party by Quick and Ashley and Angela, the assistant. And they talk about her mom, they catch up about her mom, and Alicia tells her you may have to just never, she may never apologize in the way that you want. So you just have got to forgive her and move on. Over to Erana and Jamie's house. They catch up on the winter situation. It seems like now that Jamie is retired, he is all up in Irana's private time. She ain't got time to run by herself no more. The schedule's all jacked up because he's trying to be included in all her day-to-day activities. But I mean, who can complain? Because Miss Mama T is in the kitchen making breakfast. So who cares about any of that? As long as I got if I got breakfast on the stove every day, I do not care what else is going on in the house. I don't care. If Miss Mama is making breakfast, I am eating. Okay, that's period, point blank. I'm eating. All right, so we get to Ashley's surprise birthday party. Erana, Jamie, Sherelle, and her husband Black are there. It may say Alfred on the screen, but most people know Sherelle's husband by the nickname Black. Don't know why that is his nickname, but that is his nickname. I need to figure that out. Alicia's running late. She's not answering the phone, but that's fine because everybody there is taking shots. Ashley arrives via a car, but she's kind of like already knowing what the surprise is. Okay, it's a surprise birthday party for her because ain't nobody talked to her today and she know what they're doing. Everybody's there. Jim Jones is there. I was wondering is Mama Jones here too? I didn't see her in photographs or on the screen, so I'm assuming she was not. Meanwhile, Angela gets a call that Alicia has gotten into an accident and her car is totaled. She's okay, but she's upset. So Quick then tells her, don't tell Ashley. Let Ashley have fun and then tell her at the end of the night. Now, even as he was saying this, I said, I don't think this is the best idea. I know it's a filming occasion. I know a lot of work has gone into this Ponderosa. I know. But you also got to know your wife, okay? And to be honest with you, even I knew in my head, this ain't a good idea, sir. You need to go ahead and tell her now because ultimately she's going to find out. And how do you think she's going to feel when she finds out? So I said, my man, no, sir, you need to go ahead and let her know so that she can at least have called and tried to find out what was going on. Because ultimately, if Alicia had said, I am fine, go ahead with the party, I don't want you guys to end the night, then at least Ashley would have had the knowledge that, hey, her friend was okay and wouldn't have been worried about why her friend was not at her birthday ponderosa. That to me would have been the better solution. Okay. But we're going to talk about what happens when he does tell her in a minute. So at the table, the group sits down at the table, right? And Erana asks, well, what did y'all think about Joy and Clifton? What y'all think about Joy? What y'all think about him? Well, because apparently Clifton and Joy are in the Guatemala, all right? In the Guatemala. I see different opinions. Yeah, hard call. I don't know. It's a difficult one, man. Like, because who knows why she didn't answer the phone? She could have been with the police. She could have been taken away by the paramedics. We don't really know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I know I would have told because it is what it is. That's just me. That's just how I think. That's what I would have done. All right. So Sherelle lets us know that Joy and Black is her husband. Black were in a band, just like Joy said last week. And they were in a band called the Mumbo Sauce. Now, Black says that Joy has an issue with him. And he says that she has an issue with him because she became friends with Black's ex when they were in the band. So he assumes that's why she's not feeling him. Now I'm gonna need a bit more explanation than that, because is it just that the ex don't like a new girl coming in? Was there some discrepant? Like, what was the case? What was wrong? You know what I'm saying? But I still feel like that's no reason for Joy to not like Sherelle, because that won't even your man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? We got to get into the whole, why did the band break up? What happened to the making of the band? All of that, because I still, the picture is not clear. It's not clear to me. It's not clear. All right. So apparently when Ashley did a live with Joy, Sherelle went to go click on Joy's photo and discovered that she had gotten the block, okay? Apparently Black is blocked too. So Erana, of course, is like, yay, conflict. You need to address the situation. Address it. Address it. Yes, Erana, you move the story along. Move it along. Let's move it along. Let's get some things happening here. Yes. Okay. Erana is doing the work, but not in a overly dramatic way. You know what I'm saying? Not in a I'm gonna tell a blatant falsehood type of way, but in a way like, hey girl, you need to clear the air with her. One-on-one Ponderosa. All right. So anyway, let's get more into it. Renee, what am I hyping up more than it was? Please let me know. Because if I knew what it was, I wouldn't have to ask no questions. Period. Purred. Do you know what happened? Can you tell us, Miss Renee? I would love to know. I mean, if you got the answers, I'm ready to rock. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. All right. Erana turns to Ashley. Well, just so you know, Joy also has an issue with you. She really didn't like how you and Alicia, kind of double teamed her or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And what she really wanted was, for you to congratulate. You know what I'm saying? And Ashley was like, well, I thought we left off on a good note on that situation. In her confessional, she says, well, she's still not a single mom, but okay. It is what it is. We'll talk. We'll talk it through. We'll talk it through. Fine. And as Erana is like, you should talk to her too. Absolutely. Wink. Arena's doing the good work. Meanwhile, uh, they're about to toast. Side note, as they was talking about joy, Sherelle was looking up into the sky like, what's happening here? Anyway, they're about to do a toast, and you know, Quick wants to thank no, Lil Jamie wants to thank Quick for stepping in with the Lil Jamie situation at the at Jason's going away party. Because Jamie feels like Lil Jamie was being a bum. Okay. So this kind of ignites Ashley because she's been called a lot of names by her mom, you know. And so Ashley reveals that Erana told her that Lil Jamie had texted Erana that he's really not there and that he may, in some way, shape, or form, do some harm to himself. Okay. So now we're getting into the seriousness of the episode, right? Um, Jamie feels like Lil Jamie is just spoiled and is saying that for attention. And apparently he's been saying it for a while. This is a difficult one for me because I think that anybody who has dealt with depression, anxiety, or any of those types of thoughts, as you may well know, a lot of us have dealt with, not a lot, but I would say there are quite a few of us that have dealt with this issue, myself included. Depression is something that is very dangerous because it creeps up on you in a way that you don't even realize it. Excuse me. What I would equate depression to is like the beginning of a storm cloud. It could be a bright and sunny day. But for whatever reason, there is like a dark cloud that's lingering in the background of your life. And before you know it, typically, like the same as to how a thunderstorm approaches, before you know it, that storm cloud is literally over your head and it has enveloped the sky. Like it has taken over the entire sky. So the entire sky is like dark, right? That's how depression and anxiety work. They can creep up on you in such a dangerously silent way. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, you feel like you're about to be swallowed whole. And so when those thoughts come, whether or not they have been repeated or not, I just feel like you have to take those things seriously because I think for Jamie, he's looking at things from a not only a parental frame of mind, but when I was talking about depression to an old work colleague of mine. He was a little older. He says that depression. He told me that depression was a luxury for people who can afford it, right? And what he meant by that was people who are don't have a lot of money and have to hustle every day can't be depressed because they're too busy hustling and making things happen. They don't have that luxury to sit around and be depressed. And my argument with him was, I mean, that doesn't matter. You can still be working yourself into the ground and still be depressed. Like that dark cloud is there whether you hustling or not, right? And that point where it can overtake you is a dangerous space to be. So I feel like Jamie is looking at it from that perspective and not necessarily realizing that somebody like Ashley has tried to harm herself. I think she revealed that it happened to her around what as a teen, and then afterwards, later, 20 years later. So it's a very touchy subject for both Jamie, I mean, for both Quick and Ashley, who feel like Jamie is being mega insensitive. Okay. Arena feels the same way. Um, it's a difficult conversation for me because again, I can relate to what Jamie is saying, but I can definitely relate to where Ashley and Quick are coming from as well. Because I just thought that you that's something you might want to take seriously. And you might want to like y'all might want to get to that family counseling session sooner than later that y'all talked about last week. Sooner than later. I mean, that's just me. That's just being real. All right. So anyway, the group ends up taking shots. Um, and They get to partying again. But Ashley is still looking for Alicia. So Angela is hemming and hawing. She just wants to spill the beans, baby. Angela just wants to spill them beans. And so Quick finally takes Ashley outside to tell her what was going on. So the story that he gives is actually much worse than the story that we heard from Angela. Apparently, Alicia was hit once and then hit again, okay? Thus totaling the car. So Ashley, and at this point, I'm like, yeah, bro, you should have told her this. You definitely should have told her this. But they have been trying to get in touch with Alicia, I guess, throughout the party and not hearing from her. But still, again, when somebody gets into an accident, I don't know if y'all ever been in an accident. It ain't like you got a lot of time to be having conversations right after the accident. So I don't know. That could have been one of the reasons why she wasn't answering the phone either, especially if it had just happened. So, I mean, because you got to get police statements. There's a lot that occurs if you've been in a car accident before. Okay. All right. So, as Quick is trying to reassure her that Alicia is okay, Ashley's trying to call Alicia and not hearing from her, she gets pissed. Okay. She is mega pissed. And this is why I say it's like you got to know your spouse. You have got to know your spouse. I do believe that he thought in the moment that he was doing the right thing for her. But I also felt in my spirit, she the type of person that's going to want to know. She going to want to know. She going to want to find out for herself. She going to want to hear her friend's voice because they grew up together. Is it a relative? No, they are like best friends. Now, as Quick is trying to reassure her, I don't know if he says something like, well, that's what me and my friends would do. But then she says, well, I'm not you. Okay, valid point. Valid point. But then she tells him that he and his friends are effed up. I'm paraphrasing. And that he actually indeed has no real friends. And I was like, okay, now that took a left. Okay, that took a harsh left. It took a harsh left. This was a hard. I mean, okay, we went all the way to the left. Okay, I almost was out the passenger seat. I was like, did she just say he ain't got no friends? Way harsh, Cher. Way harsh. Okay, I. I think she might have went a little overboard on that one. I don't think he quite deserved that one, but I get that she was frustrated. And if you watch my interview with her, this to me, you won't be surprised that she said it because, I mean, if you listen to my interview, she definitely says she's inclined to go there if she needs to. Okay. A lot of people on social media did not like that part. I saw when I think it was Love and Marriage Huntsville that had reposted it and people was going off about her saying that. I was like, yikes. But she said online that it was a moment of frustration. But the way she said it was like, you don't have any real friends anyway. I was like, oh no, oh no. I said, poor Quick. Who are his friends? And poor his friends. Justice for Quick's friends. Justice for his friends. Oh Lord. Anyway, to me, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Let me know, did you guys like it in the chat? I see y'all is getting fired up about a couple of things here. So again, they gave me what I needed in terms of a reality TV show that just felt like a good old-fashioned reality TV show. It was entertaining. There were meaningful conversations. There were moments of surprise. There was a lot to unpack in this episode. So if you enjoyed it, let us know in the chatterization down below. I'm so glad we did this live because, when I do a pre-record, sometimes it's okay, but you don't get the feedback that I like to get, immediately. So thank you guys for tuning in on this good Sunday, and I will catch you all in the next video.